me. The Wyatt Army marches on, the signal is steady, the confusion is gone. We don't need fancy from the left side. We got the colonel and the truth as our guide. Yeah, the Wyatt Army, the Wyatt Army marches on until the fake news twilight turns to dawn. We see the objective, we know where we belong. The Wyatt Army marches on. The Wyatt Army marches. From the loyal subscribers to the trolls beneath the bridge, to the hate wakers hiding on the digital ridge. It matters not who's listening, the evil or the kind, because the colonel's got the drive to open up the mind. Legacy media serving up the lens of lies and fake. We shatter all the mirrors for the future's sake. Energy and enthusiasm breaking through the screen. The sharpest moral clarity the world has ever seen. They try to shut the signal down, the shadow and the band, but you cannot stop the spirit of a mission-driven man. We see the objective, yeah, we see it crystal clear. The army is assembled and the victory is here. And the Wyatt Army marches on, the signal steady, the confusion is gone. We don't need the fantasies from the leftist side. We got the colonel and the truth. News twilight turns to dawn. We see the objective, we know where we belong. The Wyatt Army marches on. The Wyatt Army marches on. We served it well. Now we serve the truth, saving us from hell. No stopping to his pace, no slowing up the stride. But the Wyatt Army marching right by his side. Truth will triumph. The Wyatt Army marches on. The Wyatt Army marches on. The Wyatt Army marches on. Hey folks, welcome back. The program is Chris live from Nelspruit in the Lowveld. Apologies, the signal's not great, but this is the signal I have. I'm getting a little tired of poor internet in this part of the country. It's getting frustrating. I'm sitting in the breakfast, I'm using my mobile network for the phone, so hopefully it hangs in there, but it was acting up a few minutes ago. I had a hard time going live. If we get disconnected, it's a mobile network cutting my data off, so apologies for that. But welcome back to the program to Michelle Erasmus, Pierre Fanikert, Happy Chappy, Philip Basson, Loretta Nicklin, Hein, Anita Hobler, Carl Erasmus, All to His Glory is back, and then we've got Hein, I already said. Who else we got there? Pete Passhas is back. And who else? It's Max again, Sharon Gosselin, Rena Watt, Ants. Hey, Ants, how you doing, man? It's been a while. I've seen you on here since I was in PE. Maybe I'm mistaken. And Cool Beans is back, home safe and sound. That's good to hear. Okay. Leaded Sky, going to the next step, fingerprinting. Okay. Some tech problems. Well, it's broadcasting now, so I'm not sure what the tech problems were. It just didn't want to start, but we're broadcasting. Just poor quality. Sorry about that, folks. Let me try moving the phone a little bit away from the laptop. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Let's see if that helps a little bit. I was trying to keep that window out of the picture. Yeah, let me come over here a little bit. So, problem is light helps at all. That doesn't seem to be helping. It's the pink shirt. Okay. All right. So good from the room, but then I don't. So it's South Africa. You get what you get. Okay. I can do the best I can. So I hope you like my Pumas jersey. So that's pretty cool. Good quality there. Yeah, good deal too. Only about 800 rand, so not too bad for a jersey. Oh, the wind is blowing. Yeah, well, maybe it's blowing the signal away. I'm not sure. Anyway, first off, I want to thank everyone who came to my meet and greets yesterday. 2 of them at this location. That was excellent. Enjoyed the meet and greets. It's exhausting though. I spent from 11 to 2:30, 3.5 hours, and then from 4 to 7, so 6.5 hours of meet and greets. And in between, I didn't really take a break. I was supposed to take a break, but I did not take a break. I instead used that time to record more more of the music sticks. I recorded another 20 music sticks in that hour. So I got those up and running. So I've got more prepared in case people want them, because I was running low with ones that were recorded already. And then I did a short dinner and had my night owls evening broadcast last night. And then I went to bed. Today's been a lot more relaxing. I did several shorts at breakfast this morning over events breaking in South Africa and comments I had. Then my host took me down. We went to Sportsman's Warehouse, where I purchased this jersey. Also got a cool cap. Where's the cap at? So I got a cool cap, one of the Springboks. It looks like an old school cap, but it's actually a Nike cap. But they got the old style on there, the little Springbok with the flowers on there, with the proteas and with the football in the center there, or the rugby ball. So yeah, that was at Sportsman's Warehouse. There was another jersey they had, but they didn't have the right size. And so I went to another place, they didn't have it. So came back here, made a video about Afrikaners Under Siege. And then I met up with Cool Beans, his family, got to meet his lovely children. It's nice to meet them. Thanks for coming by. They swung by here. And then after that, I'm here doing a live stream with you now with not the best signal. So apologies for that. Hopefully it'll be better this evening. Daytime, maybe it's just not enough going on here. So anyway, so there you have it. Very snazzy, says Louise. I think so too. Connection everywhere after rain and weather. Excellent chat with Ernst last night. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I did Ernst's fun sale last night before I went to dinner. I forgot about that. So at 7 o'clock, I did the interview with Ernst. Then I got dinner. Then I came back and did my stream at 10 o'clock. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Gosh. He wants to admit me to hospital. Pneumonia. My goodness. Sorry for the poor signal, man. I'm going to cut the towers out. This is what happens. Rained up windscreen. Carl will drive carefully. Don't drive while you're watching the show. Yeah. Louise, please smack the like button. So look, I want to, it's not a refugee stream. It's an new house. I do want to talk, but so that's not ideal, but usually it hasn't been a problem. Richard says, thanks, Elon. Must be Starlink. Eh? It's a terrible signal. You can't hear the audio? Well, that's weird. That's odd. You should be able to hear the audio. Terrible signal. You can't hear the audio? I can hear the audio, but the signal is terrible. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. No, I'm hearing the sound fine. All right. Well, this doesn't look like it's going very well. So maybe we'll reschedule this for 4. All right. So how about all right, okay. I can't. Let's try this, okay? You tell me if it gets better, but I can't see any chat. There's no chat coming up, so I have no idea what you're saying now. Live chat. See, I can't see. There's the chat. Okay. All right. How's this? Is this better? Is this better? I'm walking out into the open. Maybe get a better signal than being next to the building. So you guys tell me. All right. Yeah, I'm trying a different spot. Okay. But remember to talk about some refugee stuff then. So let me walk out here. That's better. Okay. All right. Let me find a place. Okay, good. All right, cool. All right, well, I'm out here now. Hopefully nobody steals my crap over there. All right. What about this? Is that much better, says Louise. Okay, well, then I won't hang up, okay? Yeah, anyway, I'm in Nelspruit, right behind me there. So let's go take a view of that, okay? I'll give you a little view of Nelspruit. If you haven't been here, it looks like a solar farm over there, okay? But there's the town down there. Anyway, so, oh, you can see my face now. Well, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing if you can see my face. Yeah, anyway. So, oops. Whoops. What the hell happened there? What the hell? Hello? What happened there? What happened to my stream? Okay, what happened to my stream? Gee, many crickets. I can't see. Okay, I can't see my camera now. What the hell? Okay. Oh, camera turned off. I turned the camera off. Okay. All right. I was trying to adjust the thing down and I hit the wrong spot on the screen. Yeah, I pushed the wrong buttons. That's entirely on me. I was trying to find a spot where I could stand down a little bit lower so you can see me better. How's this? Okay, there you go. Well, yeah, I know you can't see. We're back. Okay. All right. So sorry about that, folks. So yeah, here in Nelspruit, yeah, I saw Santa Claus earlier, and after that, Colonel Wyatt appeared. All right, so I want to talk about the refugee program. I know this is in a refugee chat, but we're not going to be able to talk about the news because they're not in front of it. But I'm going to talk about a couple of news items, and I'm going to talk about refugee stuff, okay? So a couple of news items. Let's do it that first. I don't like that fence. Let me move here. I don't like looking at a fence. That sucks. All right, so let me talk, and I'll ignore the chat for a couple minutes. So today, in the last 24 hours, we've had, the sun is shining to the east towards Mozambique. It's beautiful skies over there, but we got lots of rain clouds here. Looks horrible. In fact, it's raining off in the distance out that way. But over this way, I can see sunshine and blue sky. But it looks like it's a good 20 kilometers away. So yesterday, now Lady Pondor made a comment that that there shouldn't be an Afrikaans university. And then this morning at 3:30 in the morning, someone torched the Blood River monument at Nkome River down in KZN. And I made a video about Afrikaans and Afrikaners facing an onslaught against their culture, their language. And so hopefully that went well. But let me talk about the refugee thing now. So I want to cover that. So some issues with this refugee thing, folks, I want to discuss, okay? All right, first off, here's the thing. There are more South Africans who've gone back to America than has been publicly shared and publicly acknowledged. I don't have the full number, but the number going back is disturbing. And I'm going to tell you what, every one of you are pricks that has gone back. You don't like that? That's too bad. You have no business stealing a slot from an eligible person when you're not a real refugee. If you come to America, there's no justification whatsoever for going back unless there's a death in the family, and then you come back as a refugee after getting permission from the State Department. This destination shopping that's happening by a number of people will undermine this program and will harm others whose lives are in jeopardy. You are selfish pricks. That's what I said. If you don't like it, that's too bad. Unless you can explain to me your justification for stealing money out of our pockets and wasting the time of others, then I have no empathy for you whatsoever. No empathy for you whatsoever. People are suffering. People are being persecuted, and others are destination shopping and slipping through the wire and getting to America and coming back to South Africa. This is not acceptable. Do you see Somalis going back to Somalia? I don't. Do you see the Kyrgyz going back to Kyrgyzstan? I don't. The Congolese going back? I don't. Why are some South Africans coming back? You're wasting our time and you're wasting other people's opportunity to get the hell out of Dodge. Stop being selfish and stop being wusses and start making it on that end. Some of the excuses I've seen have just been ridiculous. Frankly, if I were an Afrikaner or a South African, at this point, I would start to become embarrassed by some of my own countrymen and some of those who are refugees. Their conduct is appalling. Their behavior is shameful. It's an embarrassment. And I know that the Heartburn crowd will steal this video, and I really don't care because some of these people need a talking to. Someone should talk to these people. Why in the hell would you come back here if you're being persecuted? To me, if you came back here after claiming you're persecuted and you went right back to your life, then you are a liar. You're a fraud. And it's a shame because other people, good, honest, hardworking, God-fearing people, are stuck because you sucked up resources that could have been dedicated to someone who's a genuine refugee. All right? No, there's no percentage, Chris, but the number reported publicly is 6, but it's higher than that. It's higher than that. Now, people who had a death in the family, I understand them going back. Is Ronaldo still here, or did he bugger off because the sound wasn't working? Anyway, so it's very disappointing to say the very least. Let me look and see and make sure my damn stuff isn't getting stolen. It is South Africa. Let me go over and see. Okay, I want to make sure my stuff isn't being stolen. It's still there. Okay. All right. Because I can't see it now from where I'm at out here on this mountaintop. See here, big rock out here. The hotel is right up against. Let me show you the hotel here. There's the breakfast area over there. Little orange trees or Yarki, whatever they are. And then the pool is over there. But I'm staying on the opposite side. Nice garden there. Anyway, yeah, so there we go. Is Ronaldo here? Okay, I didn't see if he's back there. Oh, there. Okay, cool, Ronaldo. Anyway, so tonight, Ronaldo, 7 o'clock, I know, we got our show. Unless the internet goes out, I won't be late this week, promise. Anyway, so for people who are taking advantage of a system and destination shopping, please stop. Please stop being selfish. Please just stay in South Africa. You're not wanted or needed in America. We open our hearts and our home and our hearth to people who are being persecuted. If you're not being persecuted, you shouldn't be coming to America. If you just can't make it in South Africa, well, you aren't going to make it in America. It's a hell of a lot easier to make it here than it is to make it in America. If you start with nothing here, it's so easy to make it. You can do well in America, but you have to apply yourself. Anyway, so that's really disturbing. Now, here's another thing. Yesterday, at least 6 people I met received ineligibility letters. All of them were humble people. All of them were polite and respectful to me. None of them blame me. I have nothing to do with it, despite the behavior of some people on social media. And my heart goes out to those people. I certainly empathize with their situation. But again, they may not realize it, but there's no grand conspiracy here to keep Afrikaners from coming to America or South Africans from coming to America under the refugee program. If there were a grand conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen, someone needs to explain to me how 10,590 South Africans have been able to go into America. 10,590 through July 31st. Over 10,200 of them this fiscal year alone, with 2 months left in the fiscal year. So if someone's actively trying to keep South Africans from going, they're very ineffective. Now, I don't want to give you my estimate of the number of ineligibility letters I think we've had issued so far. But if you really want to hear it, I can give you my estimate. The problem is I don't know how many people have applied to this program. So anyway, I do have an estimate, and I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, my analysis has been pretty accurate so far in this program, based on what I've seen, based on who I've interacted with, based on the dates that came out, the surveys I've done. I have a number, and I don't want to frighten anybody. I don't think it's a frightening number, but I think that it's important to hear the number if you want to hear it. Is anybody interested? I'm sure somebody will be interested in that. Well, in the Texas Meta, you're saying the weather in South Africa is better. No, KZN weather is miserably hot and humid. It's not better than America. America is a very diverse country. Some of us, like me, Cool Beans, Loretta, Pizza Party, and others, would give anything leaving. People are coming back. Exactly. Yep. That's another girl. Okay. Be careful. What? Steal the milk out of your coffee. Okay. I'm going to send the number in relation to how many have applied. But see, I don't know the number. So I don't know that spot you're standing on has got LTE market. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so this is stuff I picked up in Eastern Cape, still with me. So yeah, the number is, remember, I did a poll the first day, June 30th, 16,000 people tuned in for the broadcast, 1,600 answered the poll. Of the 1,600 who answered the poll, 127 claimed that they had ineligibility letters that day. I did a poll recently, there were 47 letters. My estimate is there were 500 to 800 that went out on June 30th. My current estimate, no, I just landed at the airport in Josie, Ronaldo. I've had this since I left Orania, and you don't get it in 3 days in Orania. It has to develop. So the timeline takes me back to Eastern Cape somewhere. Anyway, so my estimate based on the text messages, the WhatsApps I've received, the interaction on live streams is that there are 1,500 ineligibility letters that have gone out thus far. That's my current estimate on August 12th, 2026. 1,500 have gone out. That's an estimate. The government won't confirm that, of course, but that's my estimate, 1,500. So there you go. Yeah, it wasn't Ronaldo. Ronaldo had nothing to do with my bug. Jeanette Borges says, approved and ready for departure, waiting 16 months. That's an incredibly long time to be waiting. Not sure why someone has to wait that long. No, they don't really go out in batches to another girl. It just appears that way. And Charles was going to say 1,500. Well, T. Janssen, bear in mind that we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people who've expressed an interest or applied for this program. Yeah, Loretta, it's not that high. It's not that high. It's 1,500. Yep. The organizer of the Ineligibility Network and X admitted that her partner made a mistake 20 years ago, so he probably has a criminal record. I have sympathy, but that's an issue. It is. Also, nobody mentions Southern Communist Party. They run the show from the shadows. Not really sure what that has to do with what we're talking about here. Got the letter after being approved in October and done. Dems, I'm so sorry to hear you got the letter, but again, this is a point I made very clearly here. If we know implied, yeah, okay. Only water I've seen, okay. Exactly. It's really not a high number if you consider 200,000 or 300,000 have expressed interest or applied. So something I need to talk about here that people need to understand, which hasn't been clear. South Africans need to read the emails they receive. You are not approved. Anyone who's received an email says you're approved, you're not approved. That's not what it says. It says provisional approval. Provisional means conditional. It means contingent on things not changing or information not rising to the surface. So your conditional approval is conditional and it can change. So it is possible for people to have been conditionally approved last week, last month, last November, continue the process of doing medicals, culture orientation, preparing to leave when something comes up in the investigation or something that makes you ineligible comes up. That is very real possibility. I've told people you're not a refugee until you land in America and you pass through immigration. Once that immigration officer lets you into the country and stamps your passport with that stamp, says eligible to work, you are then a refugee in America. Before that, you're a refugee aspirant. Thank you, Pierre, for the 70 Rand. Until then, you are a refugee aspirant and your status can be revoked. It can be rescinded at any moment. Now, no matter how heartbreaking that is the reality. This is why I tell people, you get the email, congratulations, but do not count your chickens. Someone has to sit on those eggs until they hatch. Also, for people who sell their business, people who get rid of their homes, people who get rid of all their resources or take their children out of school before you have plane tickets, you're making mistakes. Just because you've interviewed and just because you got a provisional approval does not mean you're going to go to America. And I don't mean to frighten people, but that's a statement of fact. Ask the people here, like just a moment ago, said they had approval and have done medicals and now got a letter. I've been saying this for months and it's been going in one ear and right out the other ear for people. And a lot of people, I got a message from somebody else, they tell me about how their friend sold their business, sold their vehicles, sold everything. And they got an ineligibility letter. So now they have to start over. Do not disrupt your life. The alternative is you get screwed and you find out 3 days before you fly and then you're stuck with this stuff. What do? Well, at least you can get out now. But if you get an ineligibility letter for whatever reason, if you've gotten rid of everything, if you've ended everything, if you've broken all the ties, then you're stuck. And that's your own doing. No one is telling you to do that. Please listen. Yella, Leista, Ekprat. Only the truth. Only the truth. It's in your best interest to listen. You don't have to believe me, but you have to exercise good judgment. It goes in one ear, accelerates somewhere between, shoots out the other side. Okay. I have too much to sell, says Loretta. Okay. I know someone who has applied and wants to run their business from USA. It's possible, Tanya, you can do that. Second medicals. You're not an American. You're a South African refugee living in America. Doesn't mean you have to abrogate your resources back here. You want to prove your security check's still going. Correct. Exactly, just another girl. That's correct. Don't count your chickens. Exactly. Day counselors Joe Berger elected to residents. I'm not sure what you're going on about there. My son has 2 job interviews this week. Oh, okay. That's good news, Janssen. I hope they go well for him. Yeah, the combination is something that needs to be worked out. Okay. And you did say from the beginning it wasn't a given, an opportunity. Nobody's owed anything. I have said that from the very beginning. That's right. Welcome to a beautiful little town in Lowveld. I hope your stay here is fruitful. Well, thank you, Sapsy. Yeah, it's been lovely. I haven't been here in 25 years, so only 13% of the people who've gone over. Well, yeah, compared to those who've gone over, but compared to those applied, that's the numbers far lower than that. Approval letter and waited 9 weeks to get our flight tickets. Well, congratulations, Knight of Justice. Congratulations. Fortunately, a very good friend who's willing to wrap up everything this side for us. Should we leave? Well, sometimes people do that. Sometimes have people they can rely on to take care of things here. Some people can keep their businesses open here because they have partners can run it and then still receive some sort of income from it. I mean, everyone's circumstances are different. But the bottom line is that I'm really getting frustrated by people not listening and making mistakes and then coming after the fact and complaining or blaming the program. You have no right to blame the program. The program is agnostic. The program is not designed to keep you from coming to America or to get you to America. It's designed to review your eligibility, and if you're eligible, process you, and then you go over. That's how the program is supposed to work. If you make a foolish decision, you've made a foolish decision. You can blame the sun, but that doesn't change it from coming up every day and setting every evening. That's the reality. And if this hurts people's feelings, I'm sorry. Some people can't handle the truth, and the truth is important. No one should be giving people false hope. No one should be giving people false hope. I don't know if the program will end when Trump's term ends. It's contingent on who becomes president. If Marco Rubio becomes president when Trump leaves office, this program will most likely continue. Marco Rubio is very angry at the ANC, and with good reason. With very good reason. So the destination shoppers should stop screwing everybody else. If you have any doubts whatsoever, then you shouldn't go. If you're not suffering from persecution, you shouldn't apply for the program. It's as simple as that. No, Mustard Olive, that's an assumption on your part, and it's a reasonable assumption, but it's factually incorrect. USCIS have not become stricter. USCIS are applying the vetting that's always been in the law. But under Obama, the first Trump administration, and the Biden administration, they did not vet people properly. Now they're vetting people properly under law. Just like the South African who flew over and thought, well, I'll just show up and then I'll claim asylum. Well, when you show up at a border crossing in America under the law, whether it's an airport, a seaport, or a land border crossing, you go to the agent to come in the country and say, I declare asylum. They say, welcome to America. Put your hands out and put handcuffs on you. They take you into custody. They put you in detention until you see a judge. And because Biden let 12 million criminal alien invaders come in the country falsely claiming to be asylum seekers and not showing at court gates, the courts are full, chock full of fake asylum cases for people who never show up. So by the time you get a hearing, you could spend months in prison. You could spend months in prison. Yep. So the U.S. government now is adhering to the rule of law. Contrary to what the media says, they actually follow the law. Yeah, you're right, Driki Furi. Some maybe think it's an easy way out, but you have to, let me check on my things again. Okay. So everything, expression of interest, everything, security checks, back to approval. Well, whether somebody has a security clearance is not an issue. The fact that you were entrusted by the government to handle things is not an issue. My stuff still over there? I can't see my laptop. Yeah, it's there. Or is it? Yeah, it's there. Okay. Oh, that's the pool thing. You know, I hate those things. They clean the pool. What do they call those things? That's a South African invention, by the way. The world uses them, but South Africans invented those things. It's pool skimmers that eat the algae. It's cleaning the pool. This one here keeps coming up. So where did the chat go? Okay. There was a question where, okay. Expression of interest, everything done. Security checks go through approval, the process and back to approval. Person had one of the highest clearance out there. What are my thoughts? My thoughts are, Joe Texas, as I've said a million times, that the portal is unreliable. You shouldn't rely on it. It should never be exposed to refugees. It should be something kept from them because it is internal use and it confuses and irritates people and causes undue stress. And watching the portal is not helpful. The fact that your person had a security clearance is not a barrier of any sort. There's a family just announced their citizenship, renounced and received letters confirming permanent residency to wind up all their stuff before leaving. Where do you have permanent residency at? And why would you renounce your South African citizenship? I'm curious. That's interesting. Why would you renounce your citizenship? Is Lily here? Hey, Lily and I were chatting just before we went live. Karen Bester, a bit late for the first time. I'm able to chat live. Well, welcome. Okay. Portal keeps jumping around. Yeah, ignore it. Creepy crawly. Creepy crawly, that's the term, yeah. Okay. Sister in Florida, left July 1st. Haven't heard any complaints. Well, that's good to hear. Always late, says Nick Grove. Too hot to get cold. Sounding a bit better than last night. Well, thank you for that, Tidy, but I'm standing. When I'm standing, I'm not coughing. There's no pressure on my chest or my chest being compressed. So yeah, so that's one reason why I'm not coughing. Agreement should be set up to, if you pull out, come back within a year, you should go. Well, they will be held accountable for the flight. They still have to pay for the flight. Sounds like a plane, but I think it's ore trucks down on the road down there. Yeah, it's ore trucks. There's a whole convoy of ore trucks down there. Anyway, so they will be held accountable. They must pay that back. Their flight from IOM, that isn't forgiven. That debt will come to them. And if they think that they're safe in South Africa skipping out on that debt, no, that'll come back here. We have reciprocal agreements with the South African government when it comes to from debtors. Yep. Securities also expiry dates. So many agencies are involved and automatic triggers happen. Exactly right, Arzaros. Okay, I had my WhatsApp interview last week, Thursday, but no case number yet. They said it will be advised when my next interviews. Yeah, that's correct, they will. It got darker, yeah. Dual national and picked one, both wide and myself. Wife, no ties, South Africa, is ran a family. Lastly, okay, Resonex, but I mean, you didn't say where you're at. Permanent residency, what, USA, in Ireland, in Germany? You don't have to share it if you don't want to. I was just curious. Anyway, so yeah, so there you have it, folks. I guess moving to the spot made it better for me to broadcast, but I can't do that always. That must have just been a bad spot back there I was broadcasting. Anyway, yeah, so for those who are curious, I'll give you an update about my trip here. I'll explain that now, what's going on with the trip. Excuse me. So I'm headed back to Gauteng tomorrow. I will be on Gareth Cliff's program Friday morning. And then I will be later in the day at Loftus because Saturday is the game against the All Blacks. I'll be at that game either as a tourist, I mean, a sports fan, or with press credentials. I don't know which. I'm going to try from that because I am credentialed at Loftus, but Sarah runs that, not the Bulls, so I may not be able to get in that way. But then Sunday I'll be there for the Curry Cup, covering the game as well. And then Monday I head to Petersburg, Polokwane. I'm going to go to the Wit-Kruis Monument, and we're going to have a meet and greet somewhere in Polokwane, and then I've got to head back in the afternoon to get to a place where I'm staying overnight. And then it's back to Joburg, Cape Town. Joburg, Pretoria, excuse me. I'll be in that area for a few days, and then I will be catching the Springboks versus the All Blacks at Ellis Park, and then a couple days later on a Tuesday, it's the Lions versus the All Blacks, and after Lions versus the All Blacks, I will fly the next day to KZN. Still sorting out the KZN trip. Definitely a Durban meet and greet, possibly a Ballito meet and greet, possibly a meet and greet in Howick, but that's probably the least likely of the three. And then I fly back overnight at the airport, and then I fly to Uppington. I'll be in Uppington for 3 days. I come back from Uppington. After Uppington, then I fly to Cape Town. I'm going to go up the West Coast for a 300-kilometer drive. And then I'll come back. I'll probably do a meet and greet in Veldhoven, and then back to Cape Town, but skipping past Cape Town, right on down to Gordons Bay. There will be another meet and greet in the Gordons Bay area for sure. So that's where we're at. Over 800 people, if that's my rough count, I'll have to check the actual number, have come to meet and greets thus far. So thank you all for coming, to those who come to it. I'm not sure about Vanderbilt Park. I'll try. It'll have to fit in that window. I'm not sure. I will be in the Common Sense Conservatives for the first hour tonight. Last week I was just too sick. I couldn't do it. So compared to last week, I'm a hell of a lot better than I was this time last week, but last week was just too much. Yes, I'm leaving from Joe Barry Airport several times. Richard, if you work for a UK company, you can work for a UK company from the US. You can't go to the UK without the State Department's permission, but you can. Yeah. I will have evenings with the Colonel, but it won't be at 6 because I'll probably be eating because I'm on with Ronaldo at 7. And then it'll either be 8 or 8:30 probably when we have that one on, okay? Might be 8 o'clock. You want to see me standing here at night? Well, there's a fence here, and I can see any intruders coming, and I can whoop their ass. So, you know, I could stand here at night. I was here at night last night, okay? Took so long that I had to get police clearance for my 14-year-old son. You need a police clearance for a 14-year-old? That's crazy. Okay. Greeks from South Carolina, Greenville. Hey, what's going on there? Didn't I just say that I'm doing meet and greets? And maybe I didn't. I'm doing one tomorrow at, well, I did say that at the beginning. I said we're doing a meet and greet tomorrow in Northcliffe at Thundergun Steakhouse. 4 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, I have the high ground. That's right, Holden. Sigi sent me really good news. Well, that's good to hear because you're always freaking out. It's impressive. I'm so sorry I missed your Cape Town meet and greet, but I'm glad you got the Energates. Yeah, the Energates came in great. I will, Tanya, I'll be back in the Western Cape. It's coming up. Yeah, so that'll be coming up. No doubt about it. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of the rough edges of what's left on the trip here. It's been an absolutely amazing experience thus far. One big disappointment here is that, you know, I had a number of black South African viewers and coloreds. I've seen some of the coloreds, but I haven't seen really any black South Africans on this tour. And that's just a shame. I've interacted with a lot of black South Africans, but none of them are my viewers. And that's disappointing. So, yeah. So, yeah, there'll be Gordon's Bay meet and greet. And I'm going to try to do the Blauberg Strand one as well. That'll probably be an afternoon one at Kopstadt Brauhaus before I head down to Gordon's Bay. So that is sad. I agree. Yeah, Greenville, South Carolina is a beautiful place. But it's hot in blazes there. When I was there a few months ago, it was too hot for me already. It was already too hot for me. Yep. The South is not my cup of tea. So it's actually kind of chilly here. I've got goosebumps on my arm because the wind blowing up here. So, but you know, I like the cold. Of course, I am wearing shorts, you know. Anyone's curious, I'm not surprised. I'll be wearing shorts. There you go. Yeah, but it is, South Africans are wearing puffer jackets and shaking up here. I'm not shaking, but my skin's definitely reacting. I've got some goosebumps right there. So anyway, and the wind is blowing about 10 knots. So it pulls a cool breeze. And anyway, yeah, no surprise I'm wearing shorts. Anyway, I do have trousers, but I'm saving the trousers for important meetings and events. So yeah. So Cool Beans was in this area. You know, it's cold up here. Anyway, 32 degrees here this morning by us. That's Celsius. It's late to the stream. Did you see the political article about DRL wanting to give funding to the State Department? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. Okay. So first off, some people contacted me and said that there's content out there claiming that President Trump is taking PEPFAR money to fund Lex Libertas and Afrikaner organizations. Well, the U.S. government may be deciding to do that based on internal sources, which I don't have access to. I'm not going to deny that. But it's poppycock that the money will be coming from PEPFAR. PEPFAR money is fenced off. The President's Emergency Program for AIDS Relief is fenced off. Congress allocates that money for PEPFAR. It cannot be recycled and used for something else. That is illegal. The Trump administration cannot do that. So if they want money to help Lex Libertas, they'll have to take it from the Democracy Fund. Now, that is some of the money that maybe was spent in South Africa, and that's possible. Or they're going to have to allocate more funding, which isn't in this year's budget. So maybe in the coming year's budget, or maybe in the extension that the Senate just passed, so we don't have a shutdown, it's possible that they've decided to fund something like Lex Libertas or AfriForm or Solidarity. But it is not possible that the president has reallocated PEPFAR funding for these groups. That's poppycock. That's balderdash. That's bullshit. It's legally impossible. He cannot do it. What's this? The content is just speculation about the funding at the moment. Article is just reporting and speculation. Yeah, that's speculation. There's no evidence of that. So, and even if there's evidence of the U.S. government offering to fund these organizations, it cannot come from PEPFAR. It has to be from a new funding source or from the Democracy Fund. There was money spent in South Africa, not much on the Democracy Fund in South Africa that was suspended. Most of the money was healthcare, and most of that was PEPFAR. Some of it was malaria, some of it was, tuberculosis, but most of it was for HIV, PEPFAR. So that just isn't true, folks. Let me just put the kibosh on that right now. It's simply not true. I understand that ProPublica ran this story, and maybe they have sources are telling us, but if they're saying that it's coming from PEPFAR money, then the people that's saying it don't know what they're talking about. Trust me, I ran PEPFAR programs in Botswana, in Malawi, in Liberia, in Niger, in Mauritania, in Uganda. 6 countries in Africa, I ran HIV programs. And in 3 of those countries, I created the programs under PEPFAR. I know how PEPFAR works. I know how it's supposed to work, and I know where the funding comes from. You cannot simply redress the money and reallocate it to something else. It doesn't work that way. It's illegal. Thank you for recognizing board people, Colonel. Lots of us grew up and was taught such ponder as a faction agency that was knocked out by President Trump together with the terrorists from okay. A $2 billion ballroom. No, that's actually not true. It's not a $2 billion ballroom. You're spreading propaganda, Holden. The Washington Compost reported today that it's $900 million for the ballroom, the helipad, and the reception offices that are not part of the ballroom. So not $2 billion, $900 million, and it really doesn't matter. It's coming from private donations. And the country needs a reception ballroom like the Palace at Versailles so we can receive heads of state. And we don't have one. It's embarrassing. The State Department prepared a $1 million foreign aid grant directly through its Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, Labor for farm attacks against white. Well, blessed Hashem, that's what I'm talking about. It can do that through that fund, but not through PEPFAR money. Not through PEPFAR money. Where did you find that at? I'd like to see that. I believe you. 84 degrees Fahrenheit in Phoenix. That's actually cool for Phoenix in the summertime. That's a good break. Okay, who is that? 340, okay. Why does USA send money for these countries? For what reason? And how are those funds really managed? Well, let me check on my stuff, make sure it's still there. The U.S. government funds lots of things around the world. Democracy funds. It helps healthcare programs around the world as part of its development. In theory, it's a soft diplomacy tool to win us friends and influence and give us access to places. That's the theory. In reality, it really seldom accomplishes that. So many people argue it's a waste of U.S. resources. I'm not sure I agree or disagree with that point. I've been involved in development assistance around the world, and I've seen where it can make a positive difference, and it's where it's improved countries and lives. Whether it's responsibility of Americans to take care of the world is a whole other topic, and one that's fair to question. So, yeah, your question is a valid one, but I'm not really sure how I should answer it. Why do some individuals think that funds for a specific purpose go elsewhere? Because they're uninformed and don't understand how the U.S. government works. They don't understand the law. They don't understand that the reason we had a shutdown last year is because Congress has to pass a budget, which is actually a law, and the president has to sign it before funds can be spent, with a few exceptions, like in national security, border security, and aviation safety, things like that. Those are exempt, but everything else has to be done. I look relaxed in the Bushveld. Do I? Petra says money was PEPFAR money. Well, if he said that, he's mistaken. But I doubt he came up with that. He probably got that from some source, which is wrong. The source is wrong. If this was asked and answered before, but do you believe ineligibility letters received are not for minor things, aren't criminal related? No, I don't think it's for incorrectly translated documents. I don't think it's for minor things. Here's another thing that's unfortunately a true story. All right. Many people are married couples who are getting someone in the case is ineligible. What your spouse did before you met them may or may not be known to you. And I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, it's your spouse doesn't know, unless you got married at 18 and you grew up together in the same neighborhood. There are things that people have done that their spouse and their family don't know about. And this program, the investigation, may draw it out. They don't tell you, though. Do you know where to find the article, or do you need on WhatsApp? Which article is that, Arza? Just send it to me on WhatsApp. People hear half word and think they have the whole story. Legal costs of ballroom, how much money has gone to that? I don't know. People should stop wasting the president of the United States and the citizens' time by filing frivolous lawsuits. Holden, if people quit filing frivolous lawsuits against the presidency and against the executive branch for what they're doing, then we wouldn't have this problem. So blame it on those fools. Found a cool hack for becoming a millionaire. Well, thank you for sharing that, Ocean Lantern. Let's use the money and cents. Okay. Needs a boar hat. I have a boar hat. Sean says, gives Mr. Lamb and his Smurfs a headache. Well, then that tells me you live in Hermanus. 7 degrees in Indianapolis. That's pretty good for summer. And Erica is here. Hey, Erica. Thank you for all you do. Much appreciated. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate that. It's my pleasure. Erica's here. There's one of our moderators. Erica still got her moderator? Yeah, she's still got her spanner there. Yep. So, look, the U.S. government gives money to countries. Lots of countries do this. South Africa gave money to Cuba. I don't agree with that. That was a foolish decision. South Africa paid for Cuban doctors to come over and sit on their ass in hotels during the COVID scam. I didn't agree with that. Yeah, Obama did build a basketball court, didn't he? Colombia is withdrawing its support from the ICC against case. Well, I'm not surprised because it's a bogus case, Hashem. It's a bogus case. It has no merit whatsoever. It's simply politically motivated and it's going to go away. But in the meantime, the way things are going, did you see the news this morning? Home Affairs is demanding 300 million rand from Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Malawi because Home Affairs didn't protect South Africa's borders and let people illegally flood into the country. And then because the domestic terrorists were forced to start getting them out of the country, lest we have bloodshed. And now they're billing those countries for the illegals that the government of South Africa let in the country. Seriously? I mean, that's beyond hilarious. That's comical to say the very least. The government of South Africa let these illegals in the country, and now they want Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Malawi to pay for their operations. There were over 200 million rand spent on buses alone. But, 54, 56,000 Malawians fled this country. Just Malawians. It's over 200,000 people have left this country already. There's no issue with upgrades to White House. It's just bum-hurt leftists who have nothing else to gravitate to. The White House needs a ballroom. We need a place where the chief executive can host heads of state and have events. We don't have one. Obama had to put tents in the lawn of the White House, the South Lawn. It's ridiculous. I have a khaki shirt, khaki shorts. Yeah, Colonel knows, what's this? What he's talking about. Go and watch his older videos. He helps. Yeah, okay. What's somebody saying? I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't mind them sending money to whoever they want, but I think a lot of those money end up opposing. No, it didn't. No. I'll tell you that right now. It doesn't. Well, if it did, it's going to have to take a very circuitous path. First off, the money that we spend on foreign aid, by and large, doesn't go to governments. We don't give it to the government of South Africa. We give it to non-government organizations or private foundations who execute the policies. There are some exceptions, but 90+% of the money doesn't go to governments. The U.S. government used to give money to African governments back in the 1960s, only for it to be stolen and put in couch cushions where the secrets remain. We learned our lesson, and by the 1980s, we put a kibosh on that, and we began giving money to agencies inside the country in the civil sector, not the government. So it's unlikely that any of that money wound up in Pala Pala in a couch cushion. All that money came from Sudan or Tehran, wherever Mr. Mustafa got it from. Please check in for booking accommodation transfer outside. Larry Smith, I'll have to check for the later section. I'm now taking care of for tomorrow in Northcliffe, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Loftus, which I paid for long before the trip because of the rugby's greatest rivalry. I had to make sure I had a room. I don't like to be anywhere else when the rugby is except right there at Loftus where I can walk across the street and my car is parked safely underneath. So that's taken care of. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are taken care of. Monday is taken care of in Polokwane. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. I've still got to sort out. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are again taken care of, or Friday and Saturday are taken care of. So I've got like 3 days next week that I've got to sort out. So I'll get working on that. Larry Smith, I'll look for your message, okay? I want to try to go to Joburg at least one of those days and do a meet and greet in maybe 4 ways. We did one at Jailbreak before, and hopefully it won't be a public holiday when I go there this time. Okay. All right. So Larry Smith, I'll try to remember that. Thank you. Colombia is also closing their consulate in South Africa and realigning their values with Israel in the West. Well, that's interesting. Why would they close their consulate? Why do I get the WhatsApp number to send a message? I only have email because my phone number is not available for everybody. Once WhatsApp switches to the identifier for anonymous accounts, and I've already reserved at Colonel Chris Wyatt. Once that gets turned on very soon, then I'll happily give that out to everybody. You can go to at Colonel Chris Wyatt on WhatsApp once that's in effect, and then you'll have it. Pregnant South African woman detained by ICE, overstayed her visa, no more anchor babies. Yep, she's going to be deported. She'll be deported unless she's in the 9th month. Yep, no more anchor babies. Yep, South African government might have had backroom deals. Unofficially, the global company. I'm not sure. I'll sign. Okay. The West in general needs to turn the tap off. Well, there you go. WhatsApp with a public article sent to you. I see, unfortunately, the Amerikaners also shared in Petzer's information. It's PEPFAR money. It's not PEPFAR money. You don't have to believe me. Check. You can't simply take that money. Congress allocated. That was the whole thing with the border wall. President Trump, in his first term, took money from the defense construction budget and allocated the border wall, and they took him to court. But in that case, and thank you, Knight of Justice, for 70 rand. Yeah, it gets nicked quickly. Well, there's security here, but that doesn't mean anything. It's South Africa. Yeah, I'm going to check my stuff again. Thank you for the reminder. Let me check. Yeah, it's still there. That's a good sign. Okay, so President Trump was sued in the first term because he set money for military construction for the wall, but he won in court because he is responsible for national defense. And border security is national defense. Therefore, the leftists lost their lawsuit against Trump. He won that. But it took 3 years of his administration to ensure that money actually was spent on building the border wall. That's why it wasn't finished. But this money is not for democracy. It's not for education. It's not for economics. It's for healthcare. And there's no healthcare allocated here, so you can't do it. Yes, I am. Yes, Polokwane. Did not just say Petersburg? I said that. For those who don't know, that's Polokwane. The farmers are having trouble with labor here because they don't have any workers. They've all left. You need bodyguard for Loftus. Thank you for the offer, West Coast. Loftus is my town. Pretoria is my town. People, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like Sally Field, but people do like me there or love me there. I get recognized so many times at Loftus. It's fantastic. I love it. Just realized today the reason places is so fully booked in Lambert's Bay is due to the flower season. I didn't know that, Loretta. That might be interesting. Okay, another state in the USA signed a bill to allow abominable abortions full term. I didn't see that. Thank you for sharing that, Hashem. Correct. 100,000 people that South Africa sent home with 40 people per bus. That's 2,500 buses, 200 million. Yeah, that number sounds correct. But South Africa, I don't know the exact number of the people they put on the buses. So, but yeah, buses are expensive to rent. They were complaining that Trump administration would deport a black woman, but accept white Afrikaners. Always making about race. Oh, is that who the South African overstayed their welcome was? I'll have to look this up. Does anybody know where that story came from, Michael? Okay. Thank you so much. Derogatory about Trump's ballroom. Yeah, privately funded. Yep. Pregnant South African lady is being deported as black. They used a photo of a white lady, of course. And thank you, Pierre Fanikerk, for the 140 rand. Sarita, but what's going on? So thank you for the 140 rand. I do appreciate that. Is there a schedule for meet and greet place when you're in Gauteng? I mean, I just said there's a meet and greet tomorrow in Northcliffe at Thundergun at 4 p.m. I'll put out a banner, and there's no schedule. You can't put a schedule out. We have people that make threats. The little retard, Johan Sloot de Villiers, this guy is psychotic. He made another video threatening and attacking me on his useless Facebook page again. So, you know, you can't announce these things in advance. Will you be visiting KZN? Give up. Give up. Will you be visiting KZN? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Hey, Hendo, I did go for a stroll. 14 Rand. Thank you for that. Yeah, Thundergun. You can paint some folks a picture and you still won't get it. Yeah. I don't know who ever thought this is a vacation. This is not a vacation, not even remotely so. It is all out all the time trying to help everybody. Okay, Linus just shared the name. Okay, I'll look for this. It wasn't in the South African media earlier, so it must have come out since I went live. Oh, the light just came on. Well, the clouds came over and this little light, security light popped on over here. It got my attention. Yeah, so there'll be a short, and I'll do one here in just a few minutes. There are shorts to announce the meet and greets, okay? And also, most of them I've been publishing on the community tab on the channel, okay? Yeah, time and where it will be, okay? So, yeah, if you search for it, you'll find it. So you've got to go to check my shorts out. Again, let's just roughly say there's going to be a meet and greet at Thundergun tomorrow. Then there'll be a meet and greet probably at Loftus over the weekend. I'll probably do a meet and greet at Loftus over the weekend, okay? And then I will do a meet and greet on the Monday in Polokwane. That's 3 more. When I come back from Polokwane, I'll try to do one in Northcliffe. The creepy crawly's making noise again. And then when I get back, I'll be doing meet and greets in KZN, possibly Ballito, for sure Durban, maybe Howick. I'll be doing meet and greets in Uppington. That's an event scheduled up in Uppington with Vinet Dutoy. And then when I get back to Western Cape, I'll try to do one in Blaubergstrand. I'll be doing one in Lambert's Bay, and I'll be doing one probably in Feldrift. And then there'll be some in Gordon's Bay, okay? So that's a rough thing, okay? I've already been to Hermanus. I've said that over and over again. Hermanus has already been there. Yeah, the problem is that people don't hear what I say or don't understand. Well, as far as Hermanus, I said when I was in Cape Town that I met a gentleman. This was after I went to the event for Rescue South Africa Civil Rights Alliance. And the gentleman who's 90, he and his wife invited me to Hermanus to come to their guest house. They really want me to come there. The problem is that I have so little time. Yes, Adrian Conradi, I'll do it the same place I always do it there. I'll get the Mybergs to help me set it up. So we'll be doing something there in Feldrift. Yep, that'll be on my way back from Lambert's Bay, most likely. Yep. So, yep, lots going on. I love when people say, "How's your vacation?" Vacation. What is the vacation? Candace, should I have a few T-shirts made for meet and greet here? Loretta, if you want to make some T-shirts, that's your prerogative. I'm supposed to pick up the hats when I get to Joburg, so I'm going to call and see if they're ready tomorrow. So I should have meet and greet hats for the Gauteng portion if you want to buy a hat in addition to the thumb drives, music sticks. So anyway, my thanks to everybody who has attended a meet and greet, everyone who's watching my streams while I'm in South Africa and watching my videos, as well as those who've interacted with me, those who unfortunately received ineligibility letters, who shared that tragic news with me. While it's heartbreaking for me to hear that and difficult for you to share it, it is very helpful for others so that we get a feel for what's actually going on. And to those who've been polite, respectful, telling their stories, their sad stories about this, I'm very grateful that you have good manners and that you are understanding despite your difficult news. Thank you for that. For those who bought my music stick, my Stockie, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate all this stuff. And for those who have given me gifts, some lovely gifts, thank you for that. The handful of people, just a couple who've given me a super chat, thank you for that. Yeah, it's been very helpful, all of it. And I hope you like my Pumas jersey. I love this. This is my favorite Pumas jersey. I have another one at home, but this is the best looking one I've seen. This one's really cool. So anyway, I even like the Everest on here. I usually don't like adverts, but that one's pretty cool. And also, we added a couple moderators during this trip in South Africa, including All to His Glory. Thank you for that. Yeah. Well, Loretta, it doesn't matter if it's just you and I at the meet and greet. Then it's just you and I at the meet and greet. That's as simple as that. As I tell people at every meet and greet, if I'm the only one there, I'll get something to eat, I'll drink something, and I'll relax, and I'll enjoy myself. That's how it works. You know, I'm standing in a puddle right here to do this stream. Let me show you. There's a puddle right here. Yeah, there's a little puddle right there. Right there. So I'm standing in a puddle. It closed well. I've stepped back a little bit from the puddle. Anyway, excuse me. You know, it looked like it was going to get sunny here. And actually, the clouds are slowly moving this way, going west, slowly, even though the wind's blowing about 10 knots, 10 knots an hour. But those rain clouds aren't quite going away. It looks like they're still coming from the southeast, coming up. And I don't know if the blue sky is going to come over Nelsbrit, or it's simply going to avoid us further to the northeast. I'm not sure. But I hope the sun comes out. It'd be nice to see it sunny here. I mean, I haven't been here in 2.5 decades, so it's nice to be back. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Look like a Lions jersey. Okay. Would love to meet you one day, Colonel Wyatt, if not on this tour. Who was that? Just another girl. Okay. Puddle increase your signal strength. Maybe. Yeah, I'm making myself a lightning rod. Oh, it's cold here. Well, for South Africans, it's cold. I'm fine, but it is actually, well, the goosebumps are gone. That was because the wind was blowing. I was getting goosebumps, but they're gone. Look at these freckles on my arm, man. I have a lot of freckles. Anyway, so, Blauberg. Yep, I'll do that. I'll meet the colonel in the U.S., says Anita. Okay, well, that's cool. There'll be people that are here in South Africa. Otherwise, who am I going to meet when I come to South Africa? Got to meet people in South Africa. Which restaurant are you going to be at Northcliffe? Thundergun, John. Thundergun, tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'll make a short after this video about the Thundergun meet and greet for tomorrow. And last year it was insane. We had over 125 people show up there. It's crazy. Not been there long, but I've been watching your videos in the background. Well, thank you there, Rochelle. Appreciate that. Yep. So that should be excellent for tomorrow. So what I'm probably going to do here in a few minutes is wrap up, go check on that story about the pregnant woman, make a video about that. I'll do a short about the meet and greet. I'll go to the little aviator's room because got a tinkle. And I will go get some dinner and then probably relax for a little bit before I do Ronaldo's show tonight. Okay? All right. So I want to thank everybody that's here right now. And there will be a program this evening. Thank you for that. Thank you for Lily for showing up in the chat and joining us. Thank you to Ronaldo for showing up in the chat and joining us. Thank you to my moderators here, including All to His Glory, my latest moderator. I really appreciate everybody. And it's the truth. If you know me, you know that I'm genuine. And when I say something, it isn't simply to blow smoke up your skirt. Okay? You'll buy me a beer. Thank you for that. Okay. Thanks for updating my spirits after my job and now for a simple gardener job today. Carl, I'm sorry to hear that you got to, that sucks. Okay. Thanks for your help and honesty. We were scared to apply, but finally sent their application. Okay. All right, Michelle. You got to do what you got to do. Protect yourself and your family, right? Okay. Keynote speaker. Well, Biz News can do what they want. If Judith Sani was a keynote speaker, their credibility keeps going out the window at Biz News. Anyway, take a drive along Beatrice Avenue. Where's that at, Sedgefield? Where's Beatrice Avenue? Windsor. Okay. All right, lax a bit. See you later. Okay. Philip Neat. I'm sure that's short for Philip Neatling. 100 Rand. Some Nelsbrit. Thanks. It was good meeting you yesterday. Well, thank you, Philip. Pleasure meeting you as well. Enjoy your dinner. Yeah, I'm supposed to get like a chocolate steak. I don't know what that means. I'll take a picture of it and send it for you guys. Yannick have sent you a WhatsApp. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. I hope that's good news for her. Kasiki said she had good news. I got to check my WhatsApps. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from Nelsbrit in the Lowveld in South Africa. This is Chris saying thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it. And for the hate wankers out there, I asked for the likes, not for my ego, but to drive the algorithm. Those of you who don't understand how YouTube works, it drives the algorithm. That's how you get more people to view your program and you get more content viewed. It drives the algorithm. So hit the like button. It's free. Thanks for the super chats, and I'll catch you guys with more videos. Hey, Garrett, what's up? Du alte Knabe, na wie geht's? Garrett, my chief of staff. Cheers, everybody. My adjutant, I should say.